How you doing, YouTube? Matt with Massive Beer Reviews back with yet another review. And Imperial Stout time. Aged Imperial Stout time. Not only aged Imperial Stout time, but Imperial Stout aged in port wine barrels. Imperial Stout time. In the form of Nimble Hill Brewing Company's Turbo Diesel Imperial Stout. Never had this before. Only had a couple offerings by this brewery. They're super local to me, based out of Mahoopany, Pennsylvania, which is close to Tunkhannock, which none of you know unless you live locally, close to Scranton, Pennsylvania, all you Office fans. And never had any of their big offerings. All the stuff I've had would be smaller. I think I reviewed one of their beers. It was a Midnight Fuggle, I believe. So I'm super excited to give one of their bigger beers a whirl. As far as what it says on the label, it says Nimble Hill Brewing Company Turbo Diesel Imperial Stout, 10% alcohol by volume. Nimble Hill Brewing Company, Mahoopany, PA. The side here, government warning stuff, and story time. This Russian Imperial Stout is a decadent punch in the mouth of a thick, dark chocolate and toffee. You may also notice a hint of vanilla from oak aging in port wine barrels commandeered from Nimble Hill Winery. Please drink responsibly. Yeah. So there we go. Always unfiltered, never pasteurized. For brewery fixtures, please keep cold. Yeah, so I'm super excited. Label-wise, not a big fan of Nimble Hill's labeling. It seems like they, it's alright. Small brewery, local, but I mean, it's very basic in its form. But it gets the point across. If the beer's awesome, that's all that freaking matters. So hopefully this gives me a reason to discredit my good label typically equals good beer theories. Port wine barrels. Love beer aged in port wine barrels. You don't find them all that often. So when you do find them, they're really good. I think I could be wrong, I think I had something from Heavy Seas in a port wine barrel. I think I had, well, and again, this is based off memory, so could be wrong here. I think some of La Trapp's Oak Age series had some port wine going on in it, and I believe there was one other one. Oh, J.W. Lee's did a series in port wine casks. I'm almost positive about that one. So I just like port wine, so usually that translates into liking stuff. But then again, I hate rum. I don't hate rum. I'm not a big fan of rum, but I love rum aged stuff. So there you go. Anyways, gigantic head. Not the most gentle pour in the world, but still pretty damn big head. Definitely Imperial Stout in color. Super creamy top, small to larger cascading bubbles, and color-wise, I mean, it is dark, but not as dark as you'd think. I can glean a little bit of light out of that sucker if I really hold it up to some light, but not that much, So, just like an Imperial Stout. Let's see what she smells like. I mean, there's this sweetness there, but I think it's more based off the wine as opposed to the actual beer itself. And you can almost smell, you could see the barreling's there, but it's like, it's subtle, but it's prominent, which sounds totally retarded. But it's like, almost like you can smell like it's a grape must as opposed to the actual, like, barreling. Like, a little bit of oakiness there, but it's more like that grape must is there in, like, spades in that smell itself as opposed to anything else. But yeah, there's a sweetness there. There's that grape must. There's a little bit of barreling, a little bit of roasted malts, and that's about it. It smells interesting. Let's say that. So, let's see what she has to offer. Cheers. Wow. It's interesting. The first thing you get is the barreling. It's there, but it's the prominent player in the beer in a unique way. I mean, you're talking about an Imperial Stout in a port wine barrel. So, I mean, that combination itself is a little bit... I love, like I said, I love port wine. Love the idea of the combination. with this, it seems like it's like the major player. I mean, typically when you're talking about a Russian Imperial Stout, sorry, not Russian, regular Imperial Stout, you're talking about, you know, that kind of, you know, chocolate, coffee, you know, malty, roasted malt density being kind of like the star player and everything being a secondary player. It seems like the port wine barrel, the wine barrels that start playing this show. Almost to the point where it's making it a slight tinge of sour. There's a tart sourness to it from that wine barrel. You can definitely tell it's from that wine barrel, and that's kind of just making it a little bit disjointed. It's definitely taken on a ton of flavor from the barrel, but I just don't know if that's a good thing. Beyond that wine barrel taste, it's very hard to weed through it to get anything else. There's a sweetness there, but it's overpowered by the grape must. There's a roasted malt character to it, but it's overpowered by the wine barrelness. You know? So it's like a weird beer in a sense that it's usually barrel character is a great thing. I think in this instance and with this particular beer, it's just too much barrel character for the beer itself. Now, is that indicative of too much barrel aging, or is it more indicative of the beer that went into the barrel? You know? I think it's more indicative of the beer that went in the barrel. I think the beer might have been a little bit too I don't want to say flimsy, but a little bit too I don't want to say weak either. A little bit too small to stand up to that barrel aging. I think if the core beer was amped up, jacked up, it could withstand that barrel aging a little bit better and become just in general a better beer or a better barrel aged beer. And that's the whole thing. In the end, the grand scheme of things is not that bad of a beer. It's just super wine barrel forward. That's, you know what I mean. You want a wine, you want a beer. When you want both, you want a mixture of the two. You want there to be a balance, and I feel like there's just a bit of an imbalance with this one. Yeah, mouth feels nice, kind of cusp of being a Imperial Stout. But other than that, it's not a bad beer. It's just a little bit disjointed. I think it could work. I think it could work as a beer. And a really good barrel-aged beer. I just think it needs to be dialed in, tweaked, and evolved to make it work. So yeah, you know, I always kind of joke around how the label fits the bill, or fits the beer kind of thing. And as I said earlier, you know, label's nice, but it's a little bit, you know, hokey. It needs a little bit of work, needs to be dialed in. And I think this beer is a synonym of that. So yeah. Nice beer, huge barreling. If you could make the beer bigger, I think it would marry the barreling infinitely better and be an infinitely better beer. Overall, I'm going to give it like an 81, just because it's not a bad offering. That tartness, that sourness from the wine barrel, actually, I'm kind of digging it, but only because it's a uniqueness to it, and not in a negative way, but it's just too overpowering for me to kind of give it like kudos, big thumbs up for that. It's too much. So yeah, 81 overall. Value and availability, I can get it anywhere in my area. It's Nimble Hill. It's a super local brewery. Your mileage may vary depending on where you live. So availability, I'll give it like a 7. Value, I would give it like a 4 or 5-ish, just because I paid $15 for this. You know, got infinitely better 750s. Locally, a barrel-aged product like this, I figured to come in around the $12, $13 mark. So low marks on value, but availability, if you live close here, you can get it. If not, poo-poo on you. So there you go. Nimble Hill's Turbo Diesel Imperial Stout. If you want a huge wine character in your stout, and that's what you're aiming for, and that's something you desire, be the beer for you. And just to give it a whirl. I mean, you know, local guys doing good is a good thing. So for them to not only make an Imperial Stout but also barrel age it and attempt at it is a fantastic thing. So kudos to them for kind of pushing the limits and try to do more and bring bigger and better beers to the area. So there you go. Another review in the books. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the review. If you did or you didn't or somewhere in between, please leave a comment in the comment section below. If you like to check us out anywhere else on the internet, you can on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, on Tapped. Massive beers in all 4 of those places. And yeah, another review down. So hopefully you guys enjoyed the review. Hopefully you enjoyed a beautiful beer right now. And hopefully see you next time. Cheers.